Hey, what's up, everyone? This is me, Dre. Now, about a week and a half ago, I put up the video about the father who disciplined his son because his son disrespected teachers, walked out of the classroom, and the father gave an explanation of his intention in putting his son in place. Now, the debate, because you see the son and the father, he basically tells the son to put on the boxing gloves, and during the course of the video, the father and son exchange blows. The father doing more of the exchanging, bloodies the son's nose. And this is basically, once again, to put his son in check, to make him know you fucked up. And there's a way to go about things, but showing out because you want to clown in front of your friends and the school environment, especially because you're interrupting the learning process for other kids. And this is not how you were raised. If you need to walk out of class, there has to be a reason to substantiate that. You call me, let me know, and I'll have you back. But because the son never communicated with him, he just came home, teachers called, and he found out after the fact. Most parents, of course, would get pissed off at that. Now, would most parents put this on a video? Some do, some don't. No one has shit to say when a white father gets upset because his kid is doing something wrong, and he takes his Xbox or his PlayStation, takes it out to the yard with a shotgun, blows it the fuck apart. No one ever thinks of the danger if the bullet ricochets and hits someone. But all of a sudden, you have people saying this man should have gone to jail. Now, he did get arrested. He's out on bail. Son was removed from the home, placed in another family member's home. So, do I think it was abuse or discipline? I think it's discipline. And the reason why I think that is because the father was trying to do what's right for his son. Teach him right. Make him understand that there are consequences to actions. And I see nothing wrong with that. In this day and age, you see a lot of sons buck up to their fathers. If the son did not respect the father, then you would have heard him mouthing off. You would have seen him trying to put everything into his punches to basically try to take his father's head off. So for one person who commented on my video saying the father probably hasn't been around, but again, if the son did not respect the father, he would have tried to take the father's head off. Every opportunity, he would have bucked up. He would have put everything and then some into each and every punch. He caught his father a couple times, but it didn't amount to much. The father got a couple of good blows on him, actually bloodied his nose from a right crossing, which I see and I observed from the video the son walked into. But that's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is this. The stigma, as I mentioned, of a single parent home in which people perceive only black mothers taking care of their kids, that happens. But that also happens across the board with white families, Mexican families or Hispanic families, Asian families, Middle Eastern families, so on and so forth. It's not just the black families that this happens to. The only reason why white America talks about it so much with the black community is because of how it's smeared in the media. That's the only reason why. You can easily talk about statistics and everyone will tell you. You can go to FBI.gov and see how they try to generalize blacks as being the worst of every ethnic background. But you're also talking about the same FBI that deemed Martin Luther King as a terrorist, as a communist, actually. So you really can't take too much stock in that. The same FBI that considered the Black Panther Party a terrorist group, but still haven't done anything to disband the KKK. That's why I don't take too much when it comes to statistics, because numbers can be manufactured to fit a certain demographic, to uplift or to demoralize. And that's what they've done with the black community. So it's always easy to say black people are bad for this reason or that. But again, numbers can always be changed to make blacks seem like they're the worst of the group. But when it comes to single parenting households, and it's not that all white people are saying this, because there were some black people that were also saying this. But again, I don't fall into that category and I don't fall into that belief. It's not cognitive dissonance. It's just I can tell you from my own personal background, I was raised in a single parent household. And my mom, as I mentioned in my previous video, she let us know that she is not the one to fuck with. And she ruled with an iron fist. She didn't let us have a democracy. Her word was the only word. As we got older, we can make our own decisions. And it counted. Every ass whooping that I got from my mom, it made me a better person. I've never been arrested. I don't do drugs. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do any of that. I try to take care of myself. And I'm proud to say, and I'm glad that my mom can look at me with pride and say, my son has never been in one of these negative situations. So I'm not the exception to the rule. There are tons and tons of black people just like myself. But when people see the worst of blacks, it's because the media can spin it a certain way. Not to say that black people don't put themselves in compromising situations, but when white people look at black people, they already have their mind made up about black people. And the truth is this: when it comes to this young man, had he been caught on the video playing a knockout game, for everyone that's saying that he was just a kid, those same people that say, well, he was just a kid trying to defend him now, if they had seen him in a store or cussing out a teacher or something like that, or playing a knockout game, they would be saying he needs to be hung from his nutsack. He needs to be tried as an adult. He needs to go to jail for the rest of his life. They need to slam the prison on top of him. Oh, he fits the stereotype of every black person where they commit all X amount of crimes as opposed to every other race. So the truth is, no one really gives a fuck about young black men. And the truth is, if they really gave a shit about black people, and I'm talking mostly with non-blacks and a lot of white people, not all, but a lot of white people, why are they so dismissive when it comes to the lives like Michael Brown, Laquan McDonald, Tamir Rice, young lives that were taken? But they'll say because he fought the cop, and we're talking about Michael Brown. No one knows that he fought the cop. They're taking the word of a cop who's still alive, who gave his side of the story. But that's neither here nor there. But the truth is, if you go to a lot of those videos, you'll hear about how black people this and that. How if his father was available, then maybe he'd still be alive if he had discipline. But that's the truth. But no one ever wants to talk about certain white people: Adam Lancer, Jerry Lee Loughner, Dylan Klebold, Dylan Roof, Eric Harris, the Columbine shooters, those two. They all came from two-parent households, and look what they did. Went out and killed a whole group of people. But they get dismissed because of mental illness. Maybe they played violent video games. Maybe they heard rap music, and with the violence in the rap culture and the rap music, that's what prompted them to commit these acts of violence. So you get these kind of excuses. But again, no one gives a fuck about young black men, because if they did, they wouldn't be so dismissive. Anyway, if you like this video, hope that you like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to check me out on Facebook. Peace.